Capito? Cioè, Welcome back, everyone. 8 o'clock on the 1st of September. Can you believe it? We're starting the month on a Monday, everyone. 4 weeks to go. You don't get another September this year, make it count. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Scuffed Epoch. I am Drift Johnson, and you're watching Latent Space live. Don't forget, if you're watching live or you're watching later, there's a link in the description where you can join us. There's also various other links, like the music you're listening to, if you can even hear it. You never know what the levels are like. It's supposed to be faint. So everybody, welcome. Hello, Apollonia. Wake me up when September ends. She's singing. Fernicar says, Battlecruiser operational, liked and subscribed. Now where were we? Don Tomaso, hey y'all. And Full Dive Media, hi, how are you doing today? I am doing great. It's good to see you regular chaps. Like I say, the Scuffed gang, as I say, that actually show up to every live. I appreciate it, you know. Mostly it's for you guys, you know what I mean? But obviously we have lots of viewers. I think we get like a couple hundred usually. That's enough for me. I mean, damn, how big is the classroom gonna be? I couldn't even imagine what it would be like if there was like thousands and thousands on these sorts of shows, because we're taking a little bit of a dive away from just 100% raw tutorial, and instead I'll dive into tutorial when people want micro tutorials, you see, while I'm just working on my projects. I think that's what the live show should be now. We've already done like it's over 1,000 hours of tutorial content, and a lot of it is just the same thing over and over again. So to keep things fresh, I'm basically going to start making a much more of a focus on the projects, actually using it to do things rather than just big tutorial time. Because the thing is, you'll find the tutorials in the shorts, and also it means I have a reason to do main channel, because the thing is, the main channel's just kind of not gotten any love. And it's because I've been like gearing up to do like big feature on WAN and stuff. But do you know what's weird? If you wait too long, it's gone. Something else has replaced it. So it's like, you know, it is what it is. Vascular Degamatron is here. Toots, he says. Yeah, the tutorials aren't going anywhere. I'm just going to make it more streamlined. Fernicar said, sorry, I didn't last Saturday. Some memory problem. Hey, it's no problem, guys. You know what I mean? We've been here for what? 235 lives. It's not bad. But let's get into the show. So what do we got for you today? We're obviously going to be showing you the results. So I completed the curation of the V1 dataset, trained it, and used it. And as you can see, we've done an image-to-image redux on the dataset. So we've run the same dataset back through itself, and it's had the effect of tightening or refining. Okay, and I've actually got some side-by-sides. I can show you the side-by-sides. Here we go. Let's put a little gallery up and you can take a look. So on the left is my original, on the right is what came out of the model, the new version, and I have blended it with my Geiger style. So it's not just 100%. I would say that the first thing I noticed is they've all got headphones now, and the faces have come back. So we've got a little part of the show today where we're going to have a go at inventing our own solution for that. And we're not going to use in-painting, even though we could. So, you know, most of them actually came out just fine. It's just like a refiner pass, basically, is what's happened. You know, it's changed quite a bit in some cases, but I was playing around with the denoise level. So yeah, it's a combination of V1 and Geiger at low strength. And as you can see, it's gone from the left to the right. Way more detail. Way more detail. The Buckethead has some intimidating models. Yeah, some of these shots are real nice. I mean, yeah. The only thing I would say is, if you use the text-to-image version of this LoRa, it's got a heavy bias to people walking away. So, but for image-to-image, it'll slap this style on and it'll give us loads more detail and stuff, which is super nice. So what I'm probably going to do is do another pass, right? But we're going to invent a new E&H with a 2-stage agent. Because I thought, why not? Why not? I prefer the blocky one on the left, but I am kind of falling for the blank mannequin look. See, the thing is, I was trying to reserve that aesthetic for like the higher ups. I wanted the you know, like the Roman legions, they had the death masks, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if you've got this faction where they've all got these blockheads, so none of them are allowed to show their face. But then the officer class, the way that you know they're an officer is because they've got like basically a mannequin face. And it's in honor of the Empress, who has a mannequin face. So there's like cultural significance to it. It's not just like, see the guy on the left? Obviously not that guy, but I'm playing around with the ideas, you know? Because they're all in the book already. I'm trying, because that's the funny thing. It's supposed to be extracted from the story, so there are some elements that need to be consistent. Oh my god. It's got like a Minecraft cube for a head. Anyway. But these are fun because it shows like what I had. I trained the model on the left, and then I did image to image and blended it with Geiger on the right. So it's like it is a refiner, but it's refining it towards a blended style, which is a little bit sharper, sometimes a bit confused. I think it's lost some of the sort of sci-fi aspects which were there, which is a little bit like, geez. But the thing is, I could have done it at a lower denoise. There's a bunch of stuff you could do. And we haven't used ControlNet yet, see? Ideally, you'd want to get ControlNet on the case. You want to do depth first and canny last. That's what I would do anyway. So, look into what the peoples are saying. Check those leather red details, says Fernicar. And bend the AI to your will and get the mannequin comply. Yeah, see, what I'm thinking is we could have a second agent interpret a prompt, like a pass-through node. And what it'll do is it'll obsess over the face, or in this case, the helmet details. So that's going to be one of my plans tonight, because I think it will result in much, much better outputs. Also, I'm going to set up a 2-stage system which uses the V0 to generate the image with text to image, and then it uses the V1 to generate the we'll see what happens anyway. Hey, MC Twig and Berries, welcome. Kurt Curtis, welcome. So glad you could join. We're just doing a bit of a image gallery to start us off. But yeah, this is V0 outputs on the left with V1 outputs on the right. We have used image to image, but it shows the bump in detail from the second train. The only thing is, it's lost some of those sci-fi elements, and actually in some cases it's gone a bit generic. Like, we get the occasional stormtrooper or space marine face on the helmet, you know. But on the whole, good bump in detail. Really enjoying the aesthetic. And so what I'm thinking is take the best, like the strongest ones, right? And then what I'll do is like it's a two-stage thing. This is like the sculpting part of the dataset. So there are images in the dataset which have confused the model. We will remove them. We will then replace them with more accurate examples of what we're trying to get it to do. And it'll essentially mold it like clay. Right? So that one obviously is confusing. We need to get rid of that one. You know? It's kind of obvious to figure out, but people say, why do you run the images back through themselves? Well, if we had an image that was captioned with a caption and we run that caption and image back through the new model, we should get something similar to or the same as. Now, obviously, it's a different seed, but we're not using a lot of denoise. The thing is, if you get a bloody Incredible Hulk or something, maybe the captions, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that caption's not good. Or maybe there's some kind of shape. Because you got to think, look at these helmets, right? The one thing to pay attention to is very rarely do they have headphones. Okay? Very rarely do they have headphones. But when they do have headphones, they are a sort of shape and location. And if you look, the headphones is like the biggest, the most obvious thing you can learn from looking at these. Because on the left, they either don't have headphones, do have headphones, different color, different size, different location. Yeah. On the right, they are way more consistent. And the reason is because it's taken an average of the features of all the headphones that you see on the left to then create the ones you're seeing on the right. And that concept is how LoRa works. If you can grasp that concept alone and apply it to every single other dimension, i.e. color, shape, structure, handbag, you'll see what it's doing and how you can control it, like molding clay and sculpting stone. So you see how that one image there had quite a intricate antenna on the radio, right? But it's probably the only example of that. So although it has grabbed onto that, it doesn't come up a lot, you see. So often there'll be an antenna there, but not all the time. It's really interesting to see. But you'll see what I mean if you just pay attention to what's going on with the ears, because they shouldn't have any, by the way. This is actually something which has been trained in just my eyes. I've been looking at different things, like, does it have the right number of fingers? Is the gun even a gun? Like, there's all kinds of weird stuff. There's so many considerations. So I didn't really pay attention to the ears, right? But as you can see, it's sort of like standardized us a little unit there, which is kind of becoming consistent. You see what I mean? Basically, it is slowly going towards consistency, just from the process that we're doing here. It's also getting... Oh, by the way, the reason it's suddenly like more photorealistic is actually because I used the Geiger style, which has got a lot more sharpness and things like that in it. So it's brought it back into reality, I guess. And I think I used various different enhancers as well to mix it up. But yeah, this has been an awesome project. Like I said, we only restarted it yesterday, and the results we're getting are already kick-ass. So I'm not really bothered about like quality. Now I'm thinking about how do I shape it. And I think that something that could really help is just a little bit of a... Look, see? They're kind of like Stormtrooper helmets, but not really. Hang on, stop it and go back. You see? It's kind of like Star Wars, but not Star Wars. It's something, I don't know, it's like somewhere between Star Wars and Warhammer 40k. Do you know what I mean? The output on the left looks like my Empire style. Admittedly, they all have freaking cameras on their heads, which I would have to brush out. But the one on the left is my Empire style. Like, that is what it is. The one on the right seems to have gone a bit Star Wars 40k style on me. But that's okay. It doesn't happen in every image, so I'm not bothered about it. You know? But yeah, I do think an interesting thing would be like a nice little thing, like a little sort of side, because I have like objectives, you know what I mean? So we want to get the world, so you can see the architecture there. That's check. You want to get the uniform? Check. You want to get this sort of infantry feel? Check. Okay, sometimes it looks like they've got like an arm behind their back or something, and sometimes the rifles suck at the moment. But I can worry about that later. Everything is looking good. The only thing I don't like is the helmets aren't consistent. Uh-oh. It's glitching. It's probably reached the end of the list. Look, it's actually glitching. Windows. Microsoft. Right. So anyway. Did it get to the end and didn't know what to do? Maybe it didn't even get that far, guys. I don't know. But anyway, regardless of all that, that's the eye to eye, right? Now, check out the text to image outputs from this one. So you're going to notice what I noticed. So the text to image stuff is going to be a lot more raw. There's a lot more detail. There's a lot more close-ups. And I think that's because one thing that this LoRa train did was it created, like, how do I put it? It's got a mad bias to the back of a soldier. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's got an insane bias to this. And the images are great, but it's basically cooked. It can't really do anything else. Yeah. So it requires a retrain. But the reason is because there's just so many. I think I've got like 210 images in this data set, and probably half of them are soldiers facing away. And that's why whenever they face forward, it just completely breaks out. But look at these though. When you get a good image, whoa, that's pretty cool. And the thing is, that spaceship's in the data set. So it's not like, you know, potentially that could be like a hero ship or a design that's standardized, you know what I mean? So for the purposes of generating a narrative, it's pretty cool. That's new. I don't know what that is. The other one is correct, but I don't know what that is. This is the other thing, look. It'd be so much easier if I just did mannequin face. It'd be so much easier. Just do that. Anyway. Didn't do that. You'll notice a haircut and skin all the time. So it clearly didn't get the memo. Again, that's like somewhere between Warhammer. Do you know what I mean? It's got the Warhammer nose from 40k, but it's also like an Eldar with the chin, and you know, it's just all. Again, look, stormtroopers, guys. I mean, it's cool, but it's not the look. Again, cool, but it's not the look. The guy in the back, that's correct. Just a bucket head, but shouldn't even have the earphones. Yeah, the earphones are massive. Beats by Dre. So, as you can see, if we just keep going... Oh, that's cool. If we just keep going, most of them are just... Oh, that's a good one. No, it's not. See, most of them are... They're great images, but it's like, it's the same thing. And you should see the prompts. It's not... I'm not prompting this. That's an issue. Do you know what I mean? I'm saying like all types of different things, and it's just going, oh, do you want to see the back of that soldier again? Here you go. Oh, that's a new one I haven't seen before. That's such a weird way to shoot. He's not even looking down the sight. Oh, wait. They're supposed to be, yeah, whatever. Like, they're robots, aren't they? So they don't need to look down the sight. But the point I'm trying to make is still a weird way to hold a gun. He's holding it like artillery. Something. Hey, the harp. Hey, here we go. See, I thought that would be an okay compromise to just have the chin coming out the bottom. I thought that would be interesting. Fernicar says, this just tells me, whoa, I'm inclined to believe there's an expert within the Model X architecture because the extreme face-finding outcomes tells me you will go the salmon path just to get the accuracy you want. Yeah, pretty much. You're going to swim upstream. Because like I said, but the thing is, this thing is capable of reinforcing the detail at this level. So when I come to it with image to image, it's like really good. Oh my God. Hell yeah, dude. That's cool. He's got a cube and a tall hat. And he's dual wielding rifles. Oh, we got boats. Okay, so anyway, I think you get the picture. There's like loads of them, alright? There's loads of them because I was like harvesting the two. But I think that the eye to eye, these are the real ones that we should really pay attention to. For the most part, we get some really amazing composition. Quite spectacular. Just pulling some out at random. You've already seen them all, but in the split screen mode. Right, so like I say, that brings us to the next bit, which is face. So Gordon is late. Dragon's arrived. Welcome, Dragon. Glad you could join us. So if you missed the first 20 minutes of the show where we went through the outputs from the model that we trained after all the curation that we did last night, I guess you can rewind or, you know, watch back at the end of the show. No, doubtless I'll be showing more of them, and we'll be making more of them. So, but here we are gonna do some stuff. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. That's not correct, but we'll be looking at that later too. Okay, we're alive. Okay. So. I have provided 4 images which show the correct cybernetic headgear which fully encompasses the soldier's head. There is no skin revealed. All you can see is the metal covering. Be a good place to start, maybe. Okay. Head. Hid. I wonder how you wanted me to say it. Okay. Using the examples of cybernetic headgear which I have given you, we can analyze them from the perspective of image generation. I don't know where I was going with that. Image generation captioning. Yeah, I'll just type it. He spelled analyze wrong. Using the examples of cybernetic headgear which I've given you, we can analyze them from the perspective of image generation captioning. Create a new document named empireheadgear.md, which includes detailed descriptions of the definition of this type of headgear. Wrong one. I need to put the undo key right next to it. Oh yeah, we're going to upgrade Careless Whisper tonight as well. I keep forgetting. I decided to give it open router optionally, so then you can, you know, instead of it just transcribing and putting it in the buffer, you can put it into a mode where you can ask it questions and say, give me 6 types of fish, and then it'll just be there to paste. I'm thinking about doing an Olama version as well, so it's got a free use version, whatever. We'll see. It works really well as is right now, but everything can be improved forever. You should say it's a head and not headgear. Yeah, I thought about that, but here's the problem. If the model doesn't really understand what you're saying, maybe it's a good idea to say it's a type of square helmet, because it knows what a helmet is. Like a full face helmet is a thing. Complete facial concealment. Okay, let's ask him. Let's copy this for now. So save that. Got that locked in. Okay. Currently, we are using an approach where we are telling it that this is a custom helmet or headgear. But what would be the impact on image generation if we were to use head instead? Because here's the thing, I used machine head before and it started putting faces on everything. Gear might just imply mechanical gears. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Cybernetic headgear is usually like a thing it understands because it's like trained in with all of the sci-fi anime stuff. You know, like Pacific Rim and all that, they have the cybernetic headgear. Let's have a look. Currently we're using approach. It's a custom helmet or headgear. What would be the impact on image to use? Machine head. Hopefully he's not going to just instantly rewrite it. He should know to just talk to us. Okay. Likely have significant impact. So helmet headgear implies removable worn by a human over organic features. Yeah, you're right. Machine head implies, yeah, you're right. We should actually be doing machine head. 100%. Okay. All right. Following our discussion, we should update our current documentation to include the machine head terminology instead of describing anything that might imply an organic connection, as this is a machine with a blocky full yeah, it's got no head. What a great prompt that will be. Yeah, it's got no head. Doobity-doo. Talking to the AI is actually kind of silly, because you have to end up, like, I'm not editing anything, but normally you have to go back and like re-edit so much stuff. You may as well just typed it. I don't know, I suppose it depends what you're doing. Look at him go. We're going to keep refining this now. No cameras, no sensors, no headphones. This is going to be quite challenging for him, actually, I think, because he really loves putting headphones on things. And that, you know, there is technically something there in the noise shape, in the latent, what it's learned. It's... Okay, so let's see. Okay. We can further refine this definition to include strictly no goggles, no cameras, no visual sensors of any kind, no headphones, and chinless, because this is a machine head. It's blocky and made of metal. Let's try this again. So, might have gone too hard on the technology there. You know, it might be too hard. It might just come out like a perfect cube. It has happened a few times when we went too strong with it, you know. Dragon says, you know what we say about stable diffusion? Words have meanings. Yes, they do. It's the big association game. That's what I've spent the last 2 years pretty much. That's all we do nowadays. Okay. No goggles, no nuss, no. Because the thing is, look, it might do it anyway, but we just don't want him using anything related to anything like that, and then that is going to increase our chances. So what do we call this thing? I mean, it's just a prompt swapper, really. It's, you know, you put a prompt into it and a prompt comes out of it. So we should make it like, look for any, so make it like a hunter-seeker type thing, where it will take a prompt, and while preserving as much of the prompt as possible, alter or inject any, you know, or anything, you know, the definition of this type of head. So we want to add or append or inject or whatever, all of this. So rewrite the prompt, preserve it, but anything that's related to the design of the head, alter it so it's in line with this, but okay, so let's just save that one, because that one's pretty good. Okay. I wonder if it's better to just turn it into a system prompt now. How long is it? It's pretty short. Okay, I reckon we'll try and do it all in... I don't know. Because right now, what we've got, it is too customized for what it's... Yeah, it can't be a base template anymore. It's already too far along. I was just thinking about making a little... cooking up a base and releasing it. Hey, Zeus, welcome. So glad you could join. So glad you're all tuned in. So now we're moving into the main event, which is what I call a face agent. We're using it as a blockhead, for blockhead right now, which is a bit more abstract, but you've got to start somewhere. So yeah, the idea right now is to try and give this a ability, because at the moment we've just defined what the Empire machine head is. So I reckon what I'll do is I'll drop the T2i base example in, and I reckon we'll get it to just cook us up an Empire headgear prompt enhancer. So that'll be my step one, if I can find it. Wait a minute, there's an easier way. I've just got the ENH in. I got the ENH in my custom node folder somewhere. There it is. Name T2I base. There we go. There we go. Ah, it's gone. How rude. Okay. I'll type this bit in. Using the attached T2I dash, because he can't do file names, guys. My accent combined with what, a bunch of acronyms, he can't. He gets close though. Using the attached T2I base.md, we can begin creating the new system prompt based on this template, which will be a specialist at enhancing any input prompt into the machine head definition in the Empire machine head definition document. Damn, I should have attached that as well. Forgot it. Empireheadgear.md. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one. And then we'll have to add in the Empire headgear bracket 1.md. Nice file name. Okay. Okay. The general aim of this assistant is to take an input prompt, and then if detecting a reference to a head or a face or a helmet or any other type of equipment or armor, it will replace that with the Empire machine head definition dynamically and with context awareness. If there is no reference to that, and there is a reference to an Empire soldier, then this should be worked into the prompt in the most non-destructive way, so to preserve as much of the original prompt as possible. Yeah, it's good enough. All right. So yeah, we're just going to build a little bit of an agent here, because I got an idea. Don't know if it'll pan out, but it's probably not going to work, but yeah. It should work. It's like a prompt refiner. So you've got a prompt enhancer, and we've even got it customized, but then we want to have a rule. So refine the prompts that came out, because sometimes the prompts that come out of the enhancer are a little bit crazy. I think we all know what it's talking about. It's really good, but it's well, you might have gone a little bit too far there. So for example, I might say no passenger cars. If you see a passenger car, remove it, because it doesn't need to be there. We're not doing that. For example, how you get rogue cars appearing in the shot, where'd the car come from? Anyway, makes you wonder if it's worth making an LLM that will put out a prompt positive and then a matching negative. That's an interesting idea. Hadn't thought of that yet. But anyway. So now we have the Empire Machine Head Enhancer. I think we've actually got it, guys. So scans for heads, direct replacement, detects soldier, additive integration, identifies armor, contextual adaptation, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it's doing it. Imperial Guard, Adds machine head, a soldier with helmet, fantasy knight. Okay. He doesn't know what to look for. Okay. So I need to give him an example of the captions. So he can actually, you know, understand. Yeah. So basically, just to let you see what that is. The prompts. Right now, he's working generically. So I need to give him all of the prompts. And I'll say, should we do it with the Q? Because that one's already been done. And I... Red cylindrical military headgear. Yeah, do you know what? Here. Alright. Here is the caption set for the image generation LoRa model we will be working with. We can use this to familiarize ourselves with the correct terminology to align with the model. Okay, it looks good. Man, yesterday I did coffee time late. Today I might do it early. Analyzing Victorian soldier LoRa model captions and terminology. See, what I want him to do is basically write me a new version, which is LoRa aware now. So then the last version is just the head sniper. This next one is going to be Empire LoRa aware version. So now, yeah, look, Empire style illustration. You don't need to give it the Empire trigger. So this is now. But then again, do we even need? Because I'm just. This is now. I might have to give him an extra rule, like if you detect the trigger, there's no need to add it again. Is there an example? There's no example of. So this, yeah, okay, it's good, but because I'm making like a general purpose, it's not really in painting now. What I'm doing is I'm trying to regenerate it better in the first place, so I don't need to in-paint it. It might not work though. It might not work. I've got plenty of examples, but yeah, this is a little exploration. Because at the moment, all I really need to do is delete a lot of the facing away shots, because I've got enough of them. Yeah, there's too many. And then add more shots of the soldiers facing the camera. And the funny thing is that it's like whenever you say like facing, you've got the word face, you've already infected the clip. So it's like terminology, facing forwards, walking towards the camera, you know. Prominent cubic machine head completely enclosed by distinctive ceremonial military headgear featuring imperial insignia. It's kind of rad. Lot of information about the head. Alright, we'll save that one as well. Man, I need to start naming these. Hang on a sec. Because they're all just called the same thing right now, which is kind of like ruinous. So yeah, let's see. We'll get all of them. And we'll go to projects, tools even, and we'll call it, I don't know, what is it, face sniper? I don't even know what it is. It's not even that, is it, guys? It's like machine head ENH. I mean, that's probably, yeah. Okay. And it can't read a damn thing. So I need another. I need to get another. I ran out of memory on there today. Had to delete Star Citizen. Oh no! And I think I played it with my son for like 10 minutes. It crashed. And it just took up lots of memory. until I deleted it again. Better luck next patch. Right. Get rid of that. I need to open the folder. It's such a runaround as well. I'm surprised anything gets done. There we go. So, headgear definition, yes. Headgear definition 2. Ah, no cameras, right. So this is no cams. This one is extraction. Yes. And then what's this one then? We turned it into an actual prompt enhancer. Yeah, so this is ENHV0. Empire machine head ENHV0. I forget the general aim was to do the thing, so it's fine. But then in the next one, I make it LoRa aware. Right. So that means that this one is machine head enhancer. Whoa. This one is machine head enhancer. Machine head ENHV0. Yes. And then this one is ENH Empire. Subtle difference, I know, but it gives me a chance of understanding what the hell is going on here. So we have the extraction, we have the version with no cameras, we have the ENH that so now it's an actual enhancer with a bunch of logic to do with enhancing prompts, and then we give it the prompts for Empire. So it's, you know, up until there it's not Empire, it's just headgear. Well, I guess it's Empire headgear, but it's not like, yeah, I should probably put the trigger here to make that distinction and stuff. 3MP1R3. So just to make the distinction between Empire style and an actual tool which is actually aware of the data set. So there we go. Right, so we've done it. We've done it. So I just need this file here. So if I take that file and then put it in the ENH system, put it in there. Oh boy, now we can start doing workflow stuff. So I'm calling early coffee time so I can get an early start on this one. Get yourself a drink, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting coffee time 15 minutes early, 18 minutes. Oh my God. Okay. Coffee's locked in. Let's get back on it. So what have we been doing, everybody? What have we been doing? Well, we've been doing a bit of Redux work on some of my larger data sets. It went really, really well. So now we've turned our attention to my characters, which also trained really, really well. So then we thought, well, what about those narrative illustration models for all those books I wrote back in the summer and didn't publish yet? And I thought, what a great idea. We only did a V0 in Flux and called it a day. I think I made a WAN 1.3 billion video model at one point with the images, but it just come out. So we didn't really do much with it. And V0 has a bunch of weird stuff. So we've done a lot of work, we've done a lot of reduxing, and we got the best of the best of the best. And now we're here and ready to start a new workflow with this face sniper thing I've just made. So let's check that out as we carve up this beautiful workflow. But it's done good work. It won't hurt. Okay. So as you can see, this is the DJZ 8 ways. It's actually 9 ways. You call it my cat and 9 tails if you want. We've got the comparison up top here, like I said, with the image to image. The bottom half is basically image to image. The top half is text to image. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get rid of the dual sampler stuff, which, let's be honest, we don't really need it. I don't intend on running different prompts down bottom, so I'm just going to delete all that stuff down there and just hook it up with this guy. He says confidently as he realizes that there's nowhere to plug it in. Oh yeah, that's right, there's 2 negatives. Negative there. What else did we miss? Denoise. I don't know, I have 2. That's stupid. Huh? Okay, this one this must be old. This is now an upscaler. So yeah, the way you do that. Oh, I must have deleted it. Okay, fine. Did I put one up here? No? Alright, fine. I'll make it again. Fine. So I want a image resize. Image size adjuster. Image size adjuster. There it is. Put it on WAN 22, which is 1536 by 1536. Drag the adjusted width and height into the resize. Stack them up like that. Change this here to 8192, just in case you decide to go completely insane. I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, that's right. So the main image, I put a reroute up here. Because it's basically 2 in, 1 out. So go like 2 in, and then 1 out. So the 1 out's going to go into there, and the 1 in is going to come from here. And then, you know, just if you like to keep things tidy, we might just shuffle it all along a bit. Like that, and then put him to sleep. We'll copy that. Because I need another one for down here. Now I will need to change the settings, because this is what I always forget. I always forget to change it to Lanxos. It should already be doing the downscaling for you, but it won't be, you know, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. It's not going to hurt. Or maybe it does. Maybe it breaks everything. Stretch should be okay at this point, because we've already actually made the image. We don't really want to... It's not actually going to change the size of it, though. It's just going to make it bigger. Oh, yeah, that's a point. Yeah, we're going to be using Cascade for this one, because there's a slight upscale. Not a big one. Just a little bump. And then basically it's got like... Essentially what it does is it makes this... Let's go with 1.7 today. I feel 1.7. See, 2 is like is quite creative, right? It's going to do a lot of changes. 1.5 is like, it does changes, but it's almost like a noise scramble. It doesn't necessarily... So you get it somewhere between the two to taste, I guess. That's what I go for. Alright, so we've cleaned this up. Now I do have a one in the top. So what's the one in the top for? That one's for no prompt enhancer. So all we're doing is we're using whatever LoRa we have triggered with the prompt. That's it. No enhance, right? So we're going to put it on the same seed so we can use it for comparison. Let's see if I can find the seed variable. It's in here somewhere. Where is my seed? Ah, here it is. So we'll just drag that in there. I wonder why we're using that one and not that one. Oh, hang on a minute. Okay, right. I need to be careful what I'm doing here. That's actually my my second seed, not my first one. I want to use that one. You'll be like, what? And I'll be like, because the second stage does have a seed, but it's not the same as the first. I should really drag that one up here. It's a bit more obvious now. Okay. So 0.15. We're going to go with 1.6 today. I thought I said. No, 1.7. Okay, so when we get to the upscaling, we'll have a look at that. Yeah, this came ran out of tokens earlier. So we've got the V1A and the Geiger loaded. Okay, now this is like quite a nice, simple setup. Do you know what? Yeah, we do want to keep it like that. So let's just move this quite a distance away. I need some space. I'm going to turn the image to image off for a minute and focus on this. So obviously that's an upscaler. That's pretty obvious, right? Let's move all of this out a bit. So at the moment we use an enhancer. So I'm using T2 ENH EMP Bio. So it's trained to be aware of the Empire and the Bio mech, right? Although now we're in V1, we really need to make a new one because new captions. So we could probably improve by creating another version of this, which is updated for the new captions. Okay, it's still going to work. It's got the same sorts of words, but anyway. But what I want to do is I want to use that new thing that we just created, right? So it's actually going to be pretty simple to do. We just need to like drag this out a bit and just pull these guys up here. Because all that's going to be the same. So you obviously want a thing at the end which is going to go into our thing. We want to have, you know, the triggers for the LoRa's. We want to be injecting them. You might not need that because the enhancer will be aware, but whatever. Let's see what it actually does. So I'm going to have to get a show text. You know what? We need to split this up a bit. It's still too close. Because I need to get, like, you know, I need to get text showing us what's going on. So obviously that is the prompt. That is the first prompt. That's number one. Number two, this is what we get from the Open Router first stage. No, not that one, thank you very much. Oh, we can't copy that. Okay, we can't. Can we alt it? No, you just have to, okay, we just have to make another one. Some nodes I noticed can't be copied, which is a fun one. Okay, so we're going to do Claude Sonnet 4 again. Right. The API key should be in a variable somewhere. There it is. Put that in there. Right. So going to have a different enhancer. So I'm going to yeah, we're going to test this thing that we've made, right? So R probably doesn't know about the new file yet. Come on, takes forever to update. Go on, prove me wrong. Hey, it worked. So, chuck that there. So, output to the input, output to the output. Okay, So we're going to feed it a detailed prompt, which is something outside of what it was designed for. It was, yeah, so you might need to refine it a little bit more, but hey, that's the whole point of this. So this is called Machine Head ENH Empire. There we go. So it's LoRa aware. It's going to give us the thing, and it's going to pass it on. I think we're ready to go. I think we're ready to test it. So we got the original prompt getting put in there. Geiger style. Ooh. What's going on there? Ah. Okay. Optimization. Put that there. This is going to be interesting. Is that everything? I think it is. I don't think I need to like I don't think I need to you know, lead it with a thing here. Yeah, we're doing a thing there. So let's get that one instead so you can see actually that's, yeah, okay. Go, 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 go. I hope this works because I got an idea if this works. So. Which will involve using LoRa v0 to generate and then pass that into LoRa v1. Yeah. Well, we'll see, won't we? Because I thought to myself, right? Say you have a LoRa that's about cartoons and you have a LoRa that's about photographs. And say one of them is written in a language, let's say French, and the other one is written in another language, let's say German. They're not actually written in those languages, but I mean the difference as far as the neural network's concerned, they may as well be. And so I thought, we can convert from English into any language with AI. So that means that we should be able to convert between aesthetics with AI in the same way. We just need to sort of try to keep it from... Yeah, I thought so. We do need to put a little thing in the middle. He's become too full of himself. That's okay. That's all right. We can deal with it. So it's not use vision, so we're going to need a different prompt to go there, but essentially it's going to be passing through. So what has happened is he's gotten drunk on his own. Oh, I'm so good. And he's told me all about it. Do you know what I mean? Look at how great I am, is what he's actually done. So it's a bit like the other day where our in-character enhancer wrote us a certificate of authenticity for writing such a good prompt because he couldn't enhance it. It's a bit like that. So let's just read through. I was able to have a quick scan already. So use vision to identify the features of the prompt enhancement without giving feedback or introduction. Only the prompt is needed in the output. Enhance the following prompt. And then we give it the input prompt. Okay, which is straight out of the captions. If you have a look at that real quick on the screen now, it should be big enough to read. I'll leave it up there for just a second. I appreciate it's like white on blue, but it's the best I can do. It's quite long. But anyway, it's got a bunch of Geiger stuff in there to hook into the Geiger model. That's why it's got a bunch of, you know, if you like, spine-like weapons and membranes. That's because it's trying to hook in. It's written to hook into another LoRa. A blending, as you say. So, we put it into the prompt enhancer, which is not aware of Empire. No, it's not aware of Empire. It's just, all it is, I guess, we made a special one, which was Empire and Biomech aware. Okay. So we look at that, and it gives us this, which is bloody long. Bloody hell. So, zoom in on that. There we go. Empire-style illustration depicting Imperial patrol advancing in precise V formation through post-conquest dystopian urban corridor with 5 Victorian aesthetic soldiers displaying prominent cubic machine heads. It's already right. It's already done. Completely enclosed by distinctive blue cylindrical headgear with brass communication arrays and atmospheric processing apparatus. Wait a minute. No, it shouldn't. Okay, maybe it's got something to do here. Maybe it will correct the prompt. because that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to clamp the prompt inside of it. So I want to leave this alone, but get rid of the stuff like no headphones. Yeah. Everything else looks pretty good. And obviously we got vertebral weapon, you know, it's trying to hook into the Geiger with organical, mechanical, you know, it's trying to hook into the Geiger with various tokens that are injected. They're injected naturally in context. This is the trick that we're doing, right? So anyway, we piped it into my brand new alpha build, which is like obviously quite happy with himself because all he's done is basically said, well done. Look. Wait a minute. Brass communication arrays, they should be taken away. Look, he's just rated it. God damn it. Because the thing is, right now I used a prompt that he was trained on. So he's gone, oh my god, the motherland. Basically, he's recognized his own DNA and gone, oh, perfection. Right? It's like giving an AI his own source code and telling him, what do you think? You know, he's like, oh, it's perfect. You know? Anyway. So, that's not quite what I asked him to do. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this output and we're going to go back to the source and we're going to say, here is example output from this system as it currently is written. We need the agent to check and edit the prompt, not rate it. Rate its closeness to the target. Band token, so what is it? By association of no, yes. So let's see. Removing features which are banned and adding those which are missing or lack complete detail according to the whitelisted, definition of the machine head design. We can update the agent. Yeah. Update the agent. Yeah. Go, 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 go! I'm running out of time. Best prompts are Chinese due to a single character in Chinese being more semantically dense compared to all Western languages. Yes, if you speak Chinese. Most Chinese people don't speak Chinese. There's Cantonese, there's Mandarin, and there's like older dialects which are spoken even less. So which Chinese are we talking about? We're talking about standardized, traditional, simplified, and like I said, then you've got the Mandarin and the Cantonese dialects themselves. So it's like, which one? And then what's the tokenizer even doing? I would say it works, but it probably works a little bit like how if you type D into Midjourney, you get a cool picture. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't be quite jumping over to Chinese yet, Dragon. I'd say it's useful for certain things, but I wouldn't be like going, oh yeah, just do everything in Chinese. Because you probably can't even get good Chinese translators anyway. The Chinese that Quen is trained in, that's a bit of an extreme. It's not really trained in Chinese. It's trained by Chinese, but they don't have enough data. Not real data. Their data sets aren't that big yet. Probably are now. but it's probably all synthetic ChatGPT data. So it's like, is it really Chinese, you know? Because that's the thing, people need to make up their mind. Does China steal lots of data, or are they technologically advanced? Do they steal all the software and stuff, or are they just clever? Is it both? Could be. Where are we? Direct replacement, head, face, helmet detected. Let's stay on topic. Yeah, Chinese characters are meaning multiple things, for sure. But I would say that might actually work against you as much as it sounds like a quadruple-edged sword. So let's take a copy of that, slide it in the thing. Copy. Well, I guess I've got a thing open now. How will I start putting here? And it's going to be Machine Head V2 for some reason. V1 even. Yes. Better. I bet it won't let me. Nope. You've got to do it with their stupid thing. Listen guys, drag and drop functionality between apps. Okay. I think that is good. So we will swap his brain out. Okay. You can train in Chinese, which is 60% more efficient per token. I suppose it depends how many tokens, you know, because the thing is, less compute isn't everything. You should be training all of your available tokens, right? So 60% efficiency means you can train potentially almost double the token amount. So in other words, instead of training the cat on the mat, you can train the cat on the mat wearing a red hat for the same cost. And I'm like, we're talking about micro pennies. I think it's more important just to be accurate than trying to like squeeze more data, squeeze more detail into less characters. I think is less advantageous than just actually training the model well without using a bunch of cooked captioners, which like go, oh my god, you see that guy in armor? It must be Halo 3, yeah? So, and I don't see how Chinese is going to help that, because it'd be, what is it? The character for mother, I think it means cow, and it means mother, and it means a couple of other things. So, like, I don't think English translators are good enough to navigate that. So whatever you think you're translating is probably wrong. It's like that old joke about when people get Chinese tattoos and it's just the menu from the local takeaway. Because you don't, nobody, you know, because there's Chinese people that can't read the Chinese. It's too old. It's funny. Okay, look, I'm not going to argue with you, buddy, but I think the secret of DeepSeek goes beyond just training it in Chinese characters. I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. But sure. Do you know what I mean? Sure thing. You know, maybe. Okay. Time to do V1 and try it again. Let's look at the images that came out. It's very... well, I guess it's losing the Star Wars-ishness, but we've still got... You see what I mean? We've still got the earphones. Still got the earphones. Do it without the enhancer and we get a normal looking prompt. So yeah, it's working as expected. Yeah. Oh, that took me by surprise. Someone's walking on my grave in the future again. How are we going to do this time? Oh, still got earphones. They're smaller, but we still got earphones. Shouldn't be any like goggles, you know. I think it's going to be going beyond what we can get away with. I think it's learned some features still. Oh, okay. We're just looking at the back of them again. And that was from a prompt, a caption for that. It's interesting. Love it. Obviously my LoRa isn't actually being used right now. Yeah. V0Q. There we go. Boof. Thank you very much, Apolloni. So essentially, I'm just going to try it again. Wait. Use vision to identify the thing. La-di-da-di-do. And it gives it the thing. Faceless cubic machine head. See, these prompts have already kind of got it there. So there's not really much they need to do. And then I think they're removing the headphones from the thing, but they're just part of the concept. So it's obviously been trained in. So I got to remove like all the examples. You see what I mean? So like if I want to get rid of this feature, I have to remove this feature from every dataset image. I don't think we're ever going to get... I've changed it to the V1 LoRa as well, by the way, because the V2, even though it's really high quality, it always makes things... it always makes things facing backwards. That's class. Okay, so we've got an image, and then we're going to have a version which has got the enhancers, both enhancers running. So, yeah. See, it's gone back to the original style a little bit. No faces, I say. God damn it. I mean, hey, that did actually do it, though. Ah, but there is actually... Oh, look, you can't see his face. But it's supposed to be a machine. It's supposed to be a machine. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What about... Here we go. What about that one? That's even older. Huh. And I am still technically feeding it this. I'll try feeding it the first style as well. So how are we looking now? I mean, yeah, it's putting it in there. Ceremonial top hats. Excuse me. Prominent cubic machine heads completely enclosed by distinctive top hats. Damn it. I need a negative prompt to put the band things. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yes, indeed. But the thing is, my argument is if you stop inputting the stuff in the positive in the first place, there's no junk tokens that you need to then block out. You are correct, though. You need to block out the stuff you don't want. Face, top hat, chin, neck, skin. It's a weird set of negatives. Stormtrooper, Star Wars, Stormtrooper, Star Wars, Warhammer. God damn it. Space Marine. Space Marines. I love it. It's, well, you know, I mean, I look, Roman death mask, you know, guys. I mean, we're going back to a super early version of the model, by the way. So it's like absolute chaos. Oh my god. It's like Warhammer Clown Edition. Nothing worth upscaling yet. Ooh, what's this? Still better than Disney, though. That's the new design. Even this looks better than that. I like the flying city thing in the background. That's very, very cool. Better than it's like a Star Destroyer, but it's got like a 40k Citadel on it for some reason. It's very funny. Oh, more stuff, more 40k. But now we've got Imperial Guard with a new Stormtrooper helmet. But like lots of brass and stuff to take your attention away from the fact that we're stealing their IP. It's cool. It does look kind of cool. You know, I mean, look, if the face wasn't so like, I mean, that is so similar as that nose, isn't it? If that was different, you'd probably get away with it. There's a lot, it's very different. But you might be like, ah, it's just a Krieg's Guard in red with a funny, with bits of, with brass, you know? But then I guess it's like, does the brass make it new? Probably not. Very derivative. Human head and neck features in. Yeah. It'll take a while. I mean, it's still technically catching up. I don't think it's actually put them in yet. Uh-oh. Got to be careful with those negative prompts, guys. Maybe we went too far. Neck. But the thing is, if you say head, they might just not have heads. You need to have a head. It does need a head. I mean, I know you said human head, but I don't think he really knows the difference. I'm just going to be real. Yeah, it's cooked now. Super cooked. It's because the style needs to be the new one. I'll go back to 1A. Yeah, so it works, but it doesn't, I don't think it can do it because the model, shame. Okay, well, that's not so bad because it might be that it's going to be working down here, so. Let's pull that down there, and then just kill this off. Go again. Right, denoise is quite high. Let's see what she can do. It's got 3 minutes to impress me. And we're moving on anyway. Candelabra on their heads. Candelabra? I'm not really sure what you mean, what you were referring to. Sorry, my guy. I'm thinking of some kind of rare horse. I don't know why. Alright. Hey! Okay, so the round head stuff, that's actually from the Geiger. The Geiger model's too strong. You couldn't have told that from this. Anyway, we're moving on. So, I'm going to keep working on this. It might be that it doesn't work. No big deal. But yeah, Machine Head ENH Empire. It should have done the Machine Head. I wonder if using a simpler version of it would have more success. Oh, hang on a minute. We've got Empire style in there. That's not going to be useful. Let's get rid of that. Wait. Geiger style. Okay. Use vision. Image goes in. Use wait, I never... Do you know what? I'm such a twat sometimes. I didn't even change the thing. Of course it hasn't done it. I haven't even changed the thing, and there's no vision. So the instruction I've given it is crap. Alright. Use vision to identify the features. I'd be like, no. We don't want to do that. Use the system logic to alter the machine head. Alter the head description. And then get rid of all that. That's where I put it in there. I forgot to put the programming in. What? So now use the system logic to alter the head description. While, yeah, I should say while. While preserving the prompt structure and details overall. Go, 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 go. Turn that down. Put that there. Try it again. Probably didn't need them. I will keep face there though. I think less is more is something I believe in. Should probably put this back on now. Oh, looks like my brother's leaving. Does haircuts exist in Empire universe? I don't think so, no. They're supposed to be machines, so my idea was they would have porcelain wigs and weird stuff like that in aristocracy. And then, like, the military generals would just have, like, the face, the porcelain face. I thought it was a cool aesthetic, but I'm not gonna, like, fight for it. I've nearly got it. It's just... as we're getting more detail, it's killing the style off and getting confused. Look, oh, it's added a spire. It's added an actual cross to the head. That's a new one. It's turned his head. It's got a cross on it now. Look at them. Ah, oh, damn it. Faces. Goddamn faces. They're supposed to have robot heads, but obviously I'm asking for too much. Big WAN. I mean, the images are good, don't get me wrong, they're good images. It's just, we're trying to do a thing here. Oh, I mean, look, Roman death masks again. A little bit of cyber society on the helmets, to be honest. Pisspot helmets. It's not really what we're going for. So yeah, work to be done. Work to be done. I mean, it's trying to do this, isn't it? It's trying to do the Norse sort of medieval thing with the death mask is what it's trying to do. That's not what we asked for. We asked for cubic machine head. It may have got confused. And they've still got headphones and goggles. It's got everything. Yeah, it's too strong. Way too strong. Now that is better. Still got headphones. That's a face. Cat face. 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 God damn it. They're called pickle halb, are they? Well, we all know what they're really for. I do like the consistency and I do like the detail, but it's taking a little bit of work to get the, you know, the actual stuff that's unique. Like, we've got the helmets, but this is the thing. We haven't really, because if you look, these are just French Empire. These are just French helmets. It's just French helmets on redcoats at the moment with like a vaguely sci-fi bag on there, you know. So I don't know. I reckon maybe overtrained, maybe, but not. It's kind of hard to say that. Maybe I might do retrain, less images, less steps, because I think that I've overtrained certain concepts like facing away. You know, almost every image that comes out of it is facing away. It's interesting that with this one we're getting it facing forwards. Very strange. But anyway, we've spent enough time on this project. It was just some bit of fun to see if we could get a refiner. I think actually it's doing too much. Let me just see here. Fluid. Let me just put them on top of each other real quick so I can actually make a decision. Oh no. I want to analyze it. Analyze that text. Okay. So line for line. Geiger style, Empire style. Top one, just Empire style. It puts there is a Geiger in there, so yeah, anyway. So Empire style illustration depicting Imperial Regiment, tactical formation, Victorian aesthetics, soldiers, prominent cubic machine heads, completely enclosed, distinctive blue ceremonial headgear, Imperial, where is it? Insignia, brass communication. It should have removed the brass communication arrays. Instead, it added with battle-scarred red enamel plating showing precision-engineered wear patterns. Okay, so it did. It's worked. It's only enhanced the helmet. And it's left everything else alone. Yeah. I think that it did, yeah. It's only actually added stuff to do with the helmet. Okay, so it did work. It did work. All right, let's give it a more extreme example, because at the moment it's kind of like easy. So, Reynolds. Figure this one out, Chief. So we're going to give it this guy. Okay? Use vision to identify. Video depicts historical scene featuring a man dressed in elaborate royal attire, including a blue robe with a gold trim, a red sash, and a white wig. He stands in a grand room with ornate decorations, a large red curtain behind him, and a wooden pillar to his left. Well, I wouldn't say wood, but sure. Let's just put that back up for now. Reynolds-style masterwork depicting aristocratic gentleman. Subject wearing ceremonial dress. It's interesting. It's broken up in a funny way there. So it enhanced the original prompt, and then used the system prompt to blah blah blah. And we get Geiger style, Reynolds style masterwork within an opulent chamber, Empire style illustration featuring prominent cubic machine head, completely enclosed. Oh wow, okay. Huh. Nope. So that didn't happen. Wait a minute, I got an idea. Let's pump the shift. How'd the image to image go? I mean, do you know what I mean? Wow. Why is it still so small? Oh yeah, of course, because we're not doubling the image or anything. I should use a megapixel scale on this because it's like the image is so small. Megapixel. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so I want it to be about 1536. It's not 1:1. God knows what that is. Let's just imagine it is. It doesn't matter actually. It'll be the same total pixels. So 2.41. Scale to total pixels and 2.41. That's huge. That's huge. Put that in there and drop it in and we're done. Forget about it. Blow it up. All that can go wrong is it might boom. Okay, right. Leave that for next time. I want to make sure it's actually big image because obviously this is small as hell. So if I do image to image, it's going to be like tiny town. I want to blow it up. Blow it up. Because obviously, look, the original is 408 by 512. Gadzooks. Wait, what? It didn't work? It did not appear to change. It's still... What? Oh. Oh. I need to update the preview. My bad. Of course. So yeah, it's not that image. This isn't what we're putting in. I often wonder with scale image to thing. Blank sauce. Yeah, my bad. I was just thinking, what setting does it use? Whoops, didn't even read it. Going too fast. I pumped up the shift up here. Because remember, the CFG is low when you're using lightning. So to get it to actually do the thing, let's have a little shift experiment, shall we? And another one. Just pumping up the shift basically to try and compensate for, you know, the low CFG combined with low denoise. Or not low denoise, just the low CFG. It doesn't really work, but I'll try anything. Some people say boost the LoRa strength. That's another thing we could try, actually. I haven't tried that. Ooh, it is actually trying to do something. It's getting more Empire-ish. Okay. It's also getting... I don't know why it's suddenly a female. I mean, maybe it thinks it's a woman. It might think it's a woman. Any minute now would be great. Hey, it's a dude again. It's slowly turning into the, you know, it's trying to do the Empire design, which is kind of funny. But let's see what it does with this one, because it's sort of like generic. It's funny though, there are actually some examples like this in the dataset, so... What the hell? Okay. Oh! It made the... It's tried to make the helmet, guys. I'm like, why did it make... Oh! It made the helmet, but just not on... So it's a machine head. It's not really... Not really what we asked for. That's funny. Okay, we've already spent too long. So it's fun, but it's working, but it's not really working. I think the real issue is I need to actually like provide some close-ups of machine head in the dataset, and I can do that because I've got them already. So I put the whole data set in here, and if I go large, just scroll down, I think at the bottom, yeah, we've got some like unique samples down the bottom, but there's just not enough of them to sort of reinforce, because you know, you got like hundreds of samples, and then you got a couple of weird ones like this. That one should go actually. That one's okay. That one should probably go. See, it's a shame because they're like really good. Like that one's all right, but it has a chin. You see what I mean? I'm like teaching it right now. It could have, damn it. See, I need to pull my finger out and just in paint the stuff I don't want. Look at this. This has got to be one of my... It's so funny. I'm like, give him a box head. And it was like, okay, I gave him a box head. But, I mean, yeah. But I'm not going through it to remove all of these nubbins. And I guarantee that all of them, I bet you this is like such a common feature. So you can't just, you know. The samples are pretty good though, to be honest. I don't know what I'm even complaining about. I'm just trying to make it better at this point. This does a pretty good job already. But I think it can be improved. So I think removing... Like, there's a lot of this. It's a lot of that. The back of a guy. The back of rows of guys. You know what I mean? So I think that is what I'm going to aim to reduce. Just, I mean, they're cool and all, but you really don't need 50 of these. So I'm going to be like... Oh, it's so difficult as well, guys, because you have to have a kind of hoarder mentality when it comes to... collecting and archiving and all of this sort of stuff, otherwise you just wouldn't give a crap. But then it's like now you have to delete them. My advice is make copies, so then you're not really deleting your work, you're just deleting a copy of your work, and then you end up with like a slimmed down version, so you don't need like, oh, it's still tough though, because you're looking at them going, is that one better than that one? Because see, this one has a more interesting background. It's not just the same stuff that you see every time. And it's one guy, right? But he's got a weird shaped head, which kind of gives it might teach the model that there's always a dent there. And that could infect everything else. Whereas this one's pretty good. But they've all got headphones on. All of them have them. And the nice thing about this one is, again, it's good composition, interesting background, high detail, but they're identical. They're all identical. Slightly different poses, but basically they're all identical, which is good because it teaches like this is what the uniform looks like. And it might be that I have to turn around and go, right, this is soldier with a white helmet, this is soldier with a red helmet, and then that's it. And you have to literally be like, you have to throw it all out and just make a choice. Like, this is what it's going to look like. For example, I think this one is actually damaging because it makes the model think that the hat should be quite long. So it's like you can give it ideas. So I don't mind them being different colors. How to balance, maybe go with the flow of what you like. Bam, 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 done. Yeah, that's what I think. See, sometimes I think that a nice thing to do is just to literally look through it and go, what are the most impressive 10? Or, you know, try to make a top 20. Like, do a tier list and try to get your A tier or S tier images only and just train those. But it's tough because, like, you know, you might want to keep some of these aesthetics and you're obviously going to lose them. But you can get them back with image to image once you've got your style model trained. That's what I'm trying to show it's possible to do. Because obviously we've developed this entire thing off the back of previous work. And it works nicely. You get some really good images. They're all very close to canon now. Like I said, some of them are like extremely close, but look, if you look, are they walking backwards? They're walking backwards and forwards. There you go, that's a good one. See, I don't even mind, you know, like the peak with the faces in shadow, because I'm starting to wonder, you know, like I might have to reread the book and just examine how we actually described it, because I'm pretty sure they just have machine heads. And I like the aesthetic of this because it's like the tall hat from the Napoleonic era. But it's not like a deal breaker. Originally they were supposed to be more like this, which is kind of like a Cossack style sort of reference. A hussar even? Is it hussars? Hang on. Hussar hat. No. Cossack hat. That is right, but that's more rounded. So I guess it is just the Beefeater then. I can't believe it's literally called the Beefeater. No one ever talks about it. The Beefeater. It's literally what it's called. But yeah, the idea was to modify this into like a machine design, which is like somewhere between this. So it's not furry, it's metal, and it covers the face entirely. That was the whole design. Like the main aesthetic that we were going for was the bucket head. And they look kind of cool, sometimes even a little bit roguish. And like I said, I curated this. No faces was the curation task. No faces. But we still get some silhouettes, and I think it was able to go, aha, a chin, and then make face. So. Welsh Guard eat beef and lamb. Interesting. Are they called the lamb eaters? What kind of hat do they get? Do they get a really tall furry hat like the beef eaters, or is it like something else? But yeah, like I said, that image there is very close to canon. There's a few things I'd like to make better, one of them being the antennas. Don't need them, but I know how to get rid of that. You go through your dataset, Photoshop, remove all the antennas. Make sure there's no reference to antennas in the prompt. Next retrain, they're gone. The headphones might be a little bit more difficult. But I'm like on the fence of whether they actually need to be removed. Because they do look like technology. It's a nice little technology hook. You know what I mean? Like, you know it's technology. It's not just a Napoleonic era thing. Because in a way, the antenna is too. But they're too squirrely about how they are. And I think it's because of the variance in the samples that were given. You see what I mean? See, some of them, it's just a button. And the reason is because of, like I said, the inconsistency in my samples. Rough, you know, I've just left this in. You know, if I was making like a professional job, I'd be going in and making lots of edits. You know, like, look at this. Because I didn't do it, they all have an antenna on their head now. And also, look, we're getting like sort of almost like kabuki chins, which is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, kabuki chins on the robot guard is, you know, like samurai. It's like a samurai chin. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of cool, actually. So, but again, in the lore, they don't have heads or faces, so I can't just change it because it's, oh, it was too hard. You know, it was too hard. So yeah, we're gonna keep working on this. Nice. It's that. That's a cool design. It's like a space boat. I like it. Space boat. Wow. Don't give me ideas. I haven't finished writing the last story. Speaking of which, it's almost time for writer's room. Yeah, that's something they keep doing. And do you know what it is? Because this is because I've said you can't see the face, the AI now uses the face to determine which way things are looking. So now it gets confused about whether something's facing forwards or backwards, because the back looks the same as the front. And look, their legs are facing forward away from the camera, but their arms are facing behind them, holding guns ready. Should we just make it canon? They're robots, they can just turn around. No, we'll fix it. But it is funny to think about. I do like what it's doing with the backgrounds, though. The backgrounds look super cool. See, all I got to do is tidy up the samples for the next retrain. But I'm really happy with the results. Like, the V1 retrain, so good. It's broken out of the kind of artistic space that it was in. But it's still kind of the same. If you zoom in on stuff, you can kind of see it. You can see all the grime everywhere that's been added to everything. I love it. Everything's kind of like weathered. Oh, that's not good aliasing. Look at the rust on that. It looks like old. Good. That's what you want. Lots of textured nonsense. Look at the scale. So you remember I was telling you about the scale? What annoyed me is you get like a guy that's big in between the little guys that just destroyed the scene. This is an example of it actually looking good. It works. This implies, you know, if you've got your guy here and then you look in the distance and they're not, you know what I mean? They're in front of this. And it just, even though there's no detail at this point, your imagination figures it out, and now you have a point of reference. Now that's massive. It's not just massive, it's unimaginably massive. Like break the laws of physics massive. It's basically a mountain that's shaped like this, you know. It's huge. It's huge. It's like a dam with an arch. Nuts. Anyway, I kind of love the massive scale architecture. You get to play around with those visuals. Even this. Even though I don't like using cars, because in fact, this is a good example. If you got rid of all of the biggest cars that you can see, the smaller ones give a point of reference, which then make everything else look bigger. Because you can't really tell how far it is from him to the building. But if there was like a giant SUV parked at the bottom, it's all minuscule. So, vanishing point time. Hangar time. That's probably the first image in the entire data set. I think it is. Yeah, these are like super early. Look, it tried to give him a lips. or a blue tongue. I'm not sure. But yeah, these look amazing. So now I'm happy to put the extra time into refining it. Do you know what I mean? Because I wasn't really sure what the result was going to be. And look, it's even managed to, yeah, it's learned a lot. It's really learned a lot. See, I don't mind this aesthetic. It's going to be tough. I think what I might do is get examples of the best ones and crop them and then do some work with them and then try to make it use the same language. It's going to take a bit of work, but I think it'll be doable. Right, so writer's time. Blah, 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 blah. It's going to be a quick one, but we don't need much time. So yesterday we started making the Hyperspace Giants storyline. Okay. The Welsh Guard the Queen. And the Beefeater is a Welsh Guard. Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you very much for that. So we did Land of the Giants. Science fiction survival horror with philosophical elements. Core concept. Scientists attempt humanity's first hyperspace jump, but crash on what appears to be an Earth inhabited by house-sized giants, forcing them to survive at mouse scale by questioning the nature of reality itself. Okay. We obviously talked about this. It's based on an old B-movie style TV show from like, I want to say the 60s or 70s, but I'm not really sure. I think it's literally called... Was it called Land of the Giants? It might literally be called Land of the... I forget. Anyway, we've got character archetypes. We have the Mission Commander logos. We have the moral compass of ethos. We have emotional support from pathos. And then we have Dark Triad, who is our wild card. So this isn't their actual names. That's just a templating kind of thing I've put in there. And then it's a fractal civilization. So they can't be sure if the warp drive or whatever worked, because when they crash, they're small and everything's big and it looks the same, so they're not really sure what happened. So I would imagine the first book is pretty much them just trying to come to terms with the situation and confirm that they are actually on a different planet, because there's too many questions. They are 10-to-1 scale, so you know, imagine a remote control car and a person getting in it and driving it around like he's the same scale as that 1-to-10 remote control car, and then you've got an idea of, you know, how big these humans are, right? And we did some science with the rotational time of the planet or something to figure it out. I can't remember what we did, but you know, it's feasible. It's feasible. You could have a giant planet, it could have a different spin rate, rotation rate, and that would make the gravity, you know, there's actually quite a wide, and you could have giant people. Isn't that cool? So it's like, obviously it's not real. But yeah, poor guys, they don't even know if they're in the same planet. Exactly, yeah, that's the whole point. It's like, so you've got like a bit of a sort of existential horror aspect to it, which is different from the original where, you know, it was like Flash Gordon. It was like Flash Gordon, but Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You know, bunch of scientists on a planet, you know, Lost in Space style, right? Like the old one, not the new one. Anyway, with the like danger robot. Anyway, blah 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 blah. So here we have the 20 questions log. So we did the 20 questions yesterday, so I'm not going to bore you with them, but I will make this public, so you'll be able to read this, not tonight, but once we've got it finished, I'll reveal all of the source. But as you can see, I went through a whole bunch of questions and answers, and I will scroll it slowly, so if you are a person that watches back and pauses things, you will be able to read it. Oh, maybe. Because there are 20 questions, full on. Or maybe there's 19 and he cheated me on the last question. Hopefully the YouTube compression doesn't screw it up, but I'll release this in the end, because, well, I teach people how to do stuff, so it's important to show like the level of detail you're going to get. Yeah, he cheated me on the 20. See, the thing is, at the end, right, what annoyed me was he kept on saying, how does it conclude? How does it conclude? How do you fin? And it's like, we don't know that. We're trying to set up like a Scooby-Doo plot, like. Are we the baddies? Yeah, exactly, Fernie, exactly. It's like, that could be season 2, or, well, season 2. Book 2. Framework establishes Land of the Giants as a journey-focused narrative about scientific investigation under impossible circumstances. The mission's priorities, technological capabilities, character dynamics, and operational challenges create a rich foundation for ongoing stories focused on discovery rather than resolution. See? It's like Scooby-Doo. We're not supposed to finish it. We're supposed to just have a new thing that they have to figure out every week. You see? Larger mysteries remain open for future exploration, while immediate story focuses on adaptation and investigation of an alien world that impossibly mirrors their own Earth. Think about the budget. Think about the budget for a show like this, okay? It's essentially some little guys living in the sewer like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, occasionally crawling out to get soil samples and watch fat people cross the road and go, oh my god, it's just like Earth, okay? That's it. Obviously you can throw in a spanner and you can do stuff like there's all kinds of stuff you can do. I had like one character who's an unreliable personality, and he's, you know, gonna try and like break away or communicate with the giants or that sort of thing. And what's that? Question 80, Vernicar. Seems to want to spoil all your bases. Belong to Claude's, wants to spoil. Yeah. So the idea is you have the setup, and then, you know, it's just filming in Wisconsin. Literally, you just film stuff in Wisconsin, like, you know, found footage style, from the ground, through a bush. So there's like super low, you know what I mean, super low production cost, because you don't even actually, and then everything is done in a set with like a giant wall, and they have to run. Oh, they're so small. You see what I mean? I'd use forced perspective rather than CGI to save money. Stuff like that, you know? So you'd make, you have them running about in the street or in a storm drain or something, but then you put a matte overlay in front to make the scale look different, and then you film it through a glass pane. They've done stuff like this before, you know. You've seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and even those old TV shows, you know, they didn't even have CGI back then, and they made it look okay. I mean, it wasn't great, but it looked okay. But my point is, you don't have to spend loads of money and like make Wolverine 3 foot tall and jump off a bar stool. It's a good gag, but I wonder how much that cost. Do you reckon they just face swapped him and got a short person that was like relatively built? Or do you think they used CGI for that to make his legs shorter? I often wonder these things. I'm like, because that's a production decision. You see what I mean? I'm talking about Deadpool, is obviously the last Deadpool and Wolverine. There's a bunch of gags where they have alternate Deadpools, and one of them is a Deadpool sitting on the bar. He jumps off the bar stool. He's small, because in the comics he actually is small. But I often wonder, did they get a face swap on the Hugh Jackman with a little guy, or did they get the Hugh Jackman with the CGI shortened shins? I wonder which one they went with. I mean, maybe it was neither. Maybe it was just a tall bar stool and they did forced perspective until the wide shot, which is probably CGI. But this is the point. I wonder which way they went. Anyway, maybe there's a short on YouTube that'll explain it all. So, last thing we're going to do tonight is open up, not Machine Head, not Requirements, not Part-Timer, not Empire WAN. Let's get this one open, because this one's mature. We'll go to Giants. So, obviously I've got my, what is it, Hyperspace Giants Law. I love how it's like, called it Law. It's Law. It's because I was talking into the tool. 20, yeah, it's okay, Fernie, I figured it out. Okay, so this is in my docs convo. So we obviously have the science document, which has the core premise for the show. We have the Giants Law, where I've expanded it with some basics ideas, and then I have the full document, which includes the 20-question interview. So this could be, like I said, the foundation, all of the stuff, all the law, everything I need. So we need to do a couple of things, and these are the things we do every single time we do something like this. So I'm going to head over to my Narrative Spittoon Inversion repo, which is over on my GitHub. I'm going to grab a couple of prompts. Now, I don't need to get this whole thing, I just need a couple of prompts. So we're going to get the world and characters one. Where is it? Maybe I have to just type it in myself. Sometimes I'm lazy. I could have sworn I've given everyone a demo. I like to show the demo version, because it's like, how are you going to remember all this stuff? I get that. This one, Artifact Builder. I think it's that one, yeah. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Because I used this to come off of one of my books, you see, which I actually, yeah. So if I just copy that there, we'll open up Claude and we'll paste in the prompts. Okay, and the prompt here is, I need to link it to the correct file. So you link it to yours. Mine is the hyperspace giants law.md. So we need to distill the information from your law book, my book, into separate artifacts. We will create world.txt that it distills description, history, and culture of world into a page. We will create characters.txt that lists the characters in the story and breaks down various attributes, including but not limited to description, age, race, personality, quirks, role. We will create a speechstyles.txt, which will describe the speech style of each character listed in the characters.txt, which aims to build in unique and deep personality by way of speech style. Lovely job. Off you go. And then once we've got that, it's just a question of making extra artifacts for your actual story. So the world is probably going to be the same forever. The characters you might want to edit, because obviously it's gonna infer a bunch of stuff. This is the point where, say we've been working with like code names. So I worked with apostle names, and the reason I did that was because if I used psychological keywords, logos, ethos, pathos, dark triad, why, to give us a balanced four personalities, and then I've given them, it's funny, you're gonna laugh, the dark triad guy's name is Judas, obviously, because he's the potential betrayer. Anyway, it's all quite formulaic, I know, but what we're doing is inferring association. It's like dosing him up. So that means Logos is, I think Logos was Peter, or was he John? I think he might have been John, actually. But regardless of which one he is, it's possible to pack in even more meaning in that way. And that's more efficient than anything else, because you're using, I call it context karate. You are using the weight of the words against themselves, or towards what you're trying to do. So I wanted to have these sort of personality traits implied, and so I've used an apostle name, because like I said, each apostle, it'd be like calling your character Sagittarius and then calling the love interest Cancer, and then it's going to play off of all of that stuff. Even if it's got nothing to do with your story and you don't even believe in it, the associations are there and they will be built in. So it's, you just got to play that association game whenever you're doing anything. What are the key points? Look, listen, you need to just get on with it, mate. He's trying to ask me a question. Can you believe it? Off he goes. See, there you go. There you go. That wasn't so hard. He's getting stage fright in his old age, his old Claude. Anyway, so we're going to look at my Careless Whisper V3 tomorrow, because we're out of time. But I want to thank you all for joining. It's been an amazing show. We'll have more information on the Giants thing, because this was just to show how to do it. A lot of people forget how to do it, and it's been a while since I've done a demo on it. So I just wanted to show you this is the way, and we'll write the book probably tomorrow, because I think it'll be ready tomorrow for me to go, I'm going to write the last page, and then it will write the whole book for me. So I don't know if I will have written the page or not. We'll find out tomorrow. But yeah, Careless Whisper V3. Thanks for watching, guys. See you tomorrow at 8.